The way that you open your cold call is gonna make or break the rest of the call. You can be selling the best product in the world. You can be selling winning lottery tickets, but if you can't make it past those first 7 seconds of the cold call, you're not gonna sell anything. So today, I'm gonna break down the basic permission-based opener, which is how I typically open my cold calls. I will explain why it works, and then I'll give you a variant that you can use with it that makes it even more effective. And so without further ado, let's get into the video. The problem with most cold call openers is they actually confuse your prospect, and a confused prospect is not a prospect who's going to be receptive to your pitch. If you actually put yourself in the shoes of the person that you're cold calling, when they pick up the phone and they hear your unfamiliar voice on the other end of the line, they're instantly trying to figure out, wait, who is this person? Do I know them? Why are they calling me? And how long is this gonna take? This is an interruption to their day. You cannot forget that. And so unless you answer those things up front in your opener, you're gonna get hit with stuff like, hey, now's not a good time, click. Or they're gonna say stuff like, is this a cold call? And you're gonna be put on the back foot trying to overcome that. And so the way this is gonna work is when they answer the phone and they say, hello, you're gonna say something like, Emma, this is Nick Cegelski with 30 Minutes to President's Club. Look, I know you didn't expect me to call you this afternoon. Do you mind if I take 1 minute? I'll tell you why I called you specifically, and then you can tell me whether or not it's worth a chat. That sound fair? And what you'll see is I made it extremely clear who I was, what I wanted, and if they said yes, how long this would take. And because I've answered those uncertainties that were swirling around in the customer's head, 8 times out of 10, you're gonna hear, all right, Nick, go ahead, you've got 1 minute. And then you can roll into your pitch. And for the other 20% of people that turn you down and say no, well, you probably weren't gonna get them no matter what you said, so don't worry about them. And so that's your basic permission-based opener. All you're doing is you're telling them who you are, you're owning the fact that this is indeed a cold call, and you're asking for permission to continue with the cold call. And for most folks, that's gonna work most of the time. But let's talk about one twist you can put on things to actually make it a little bit more effective. The main problem with the permission-based opener is that you're asking for permission to someone who has no idea whether or not you're a telemarketer just dialing through the phone book A to Z, you're selling used car warranties, or if you're making an actual professional cold call. And so you're sort of gambling a little bit there. And there is one way to overcome that, which is to include the trigger or the reason for why you called that person in your opening statement. So an example of this would be if I sell a piece of software that helps companies that just launched a new product, I'm probably looking at press releases and the news and companies' LinkedIn pages to see when companies announce that, hey, they've launched a new product. And that would trigger me to cold call somebody. And so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mention that in the upfront statement. So a cold call for this imaginary scenario might sound something like they answer and they say hello, and I say, Emma, I just finished reading the press release about the new product that you guys launched. My name's Nick, and I know I'm calling you totally out of the blue. Do you mind if I take 1 minute? I'll tell you why that press release prompted me to call you specifically, and then you can tell me whether or not it's worth a chat. And so common places that you can look for this stuff to mention in your opener, I mentioned the press release, but you might do stuff like job postings where the company is talking about an initiative that you know you can help with, or a blog post from the company where they make a mention of something that you're like, oh, I can connect that to my product, or a LinkedIn post from somebody that triggers you to say this might be a good prospect. Because when you open a cold call and you say, I just finished listening to a podcast that you were on and it made me want to call you, the person's gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna give this person a shot. And so this is your variation you can put on the permission-based opener to get them to lean in just a little bit more. So that's your permission-based opener. If you are newer to cold calling, my recommendation is you start with the basic version while you're getting the hang of things. If you're more advanced, give that variation a try. I think you'll see pretty good results with it. Now, good news here, we have learned to make it past those first 7 seconds of the cold call. The bad news is, well, we've got to make it through the rest of the cold call now. And so you're inevitably gonna get hit with objections. And if you want to learn how to handle them, we've done a whole series on the Mr. Miyagi approach, which is how you can handle those challenging objections. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. We will see you on the next one.